want parents who care too much. I wish I had parents who could care less.
Here, Timmy is so worn down by his own parents that his solution is to wish them into caring even less than they already do for him. And then there's Henry.
Empty? Henry!
He's getting screamed at for something his brother did, while his brother Peter stands there and watches everything. Both shows feature neglectful, unfair, and downright awful parenting. But one turns that dysfunction into comedy, while the other accidentally makes you wonder if someone should call child services. So, what is it that the Fairly OddParents understood about bad parenting that Horrid Henry just doesn't? Well, the first thing the Fairly OddParents gets right is how far it tends to push things. Timmy's parents are cranked so far past anything resembling normal adults that nothing they do can be taken normally.
Now I'm going to make ice cream out of birdseed and gum.
And that is one of the reasons the show is still performing well. Even these two parents forget their own kid's birthday on a regular basis. In the episode Birthday Bashed, Timmy flat out says that his parents have a track record of forgetting his birthday year after year, and Timmy is pretty much used to it.
What if your parents throw you a party?
Don't panic. My parents forget my birthday every year. There's no way they're throwing me a party.
Don't get me wrong, but the parents' level of neglect is on a different level on this show. But you still end up watching it. Even in the episode Father Time, we witness where the writers won't even give Mr. and Ms. Turner a first name.
There he is. That's my dad as a kid. Hey, Dad!
Well, that's my nickname, stranger. My real name is... But everyone calls me Dad.
The truck's horn cuts off their names every single time it comes up.
Mom is a kid.
Yeah, and she's got a beautiful name. It's... But everyone calls her Mom.
And the parents are stuck being called Mr. Turner and Mrs. Turner
for over a decade of episodes, which
means that these characters were never meant to be considered as real adults. There's also a moment in the show where Mr. Turner has a years-long feud with his neighbour, Sheldon Dinkelberg, over just a little tiny thing.
Your tie doesn't match your shirt.
Dinkelberg strikes again. We're out of milk. Dinkelberg has gone too far this time.
And in the episode Operation Dinkelberg, he drags his son Timmy into a full surveillance operation to try and prove that the friendliest man on the block is secretly evil.
We're going to do it. We'll watch that fiend 24/7 and catch him in an act of evil. Until then, you're not leaving my side.
Mind you, there are no moments in Horrid Henry where the parents do things similar to this. And Mrs. Turner is more invested in looking like a perfect housewife to people who don't care about her than in noticing what's happening in her own house.
Timmy, you'll never guess what happened to me this morning. I won the Mrs. Dimsdale pageant.
Great, super, that's nice. Bye.
Both of these parents are buried so deep in their own private bits. And mostly the situation with Vicky is where the parents are taken as the joke. In the episode Channel Chasers, the parents take a magical device away from Timmy and hand it directly to the babysitter, who is literally the one who destroyed their house and has also been torturing Timmy for years.
Here, Vicky, take this. We're going to have a word with our irresponsible son.
Have a nice violent talk. I'll see you tomorrow.
When the show pushes the absurdity that far, people who watch the show literally stop taking any of it seriously and start getting the joke instead. And that leads to the result that we end up laughing at every adult in the show when they make ridiculous decisions. Now, let's take a look at how Horrid Henry plays the same idea. Henry's mum and dad are drawn just like any other normal British middle-class parent who hands out ordinary household punishments like no pocket money or no TV for the week.
That's enough, Henry.
No pocket money for a week.
What? No!
Damn, I wish I got given pocket money. The parents have no feud or any other external effect running their lives, which means they end up looking like the kind of parents you might actually know in real life.
Hurry up, Henry. Uncle Francis will be here any minute.
I'm going to count.
All right. 10. 9. Here goes.
It's hard to find a person who hasn't experienced that as a kid. That is exactly where the trouble starts coming in, where realistic parents start making something closer to realistic decisions. So nothing about it tells the audience to laugh when bad things happen to Henry.
Ring-a-ding pizzas. What's your
topping.
We also want to point out that everyone at the Not Fair Studios really feels sad when they see Henry getting treated like this. In the show Fairly Odd Parents, the absurdity level is a little bit higher than the usual, which makes bad parenting actually become marvellous. But if you keep it grounded, it just stays like Horrid Henry. The next big difference comes down to who the show is actually rooting for. And it's clear that the Fairly Odd Parents show picks Timmy's side. Before Timmy has even properly introduced himself, the show has already told us he is being mistreated by the adults in the show. And other forces had to step in to do something about it. And those are...
Ready, Cosmo?
Ready, Wanda.
1, 2, 3!
Wakey, wakey, Timmy.
That right there settles the question of who the show thinks is the victim. They've also mentioned the role of Cosmo and Wanda in the older show.
Why are you here?
We want to help you. We're magic. Ooh, magic. Ooh.
We grant wishes!
The show then backs it up by stacking one antagonistic adult on top of another. Like Vicky spends her time torturing Timmy on purpose. Even Mr. Crocker abuses Timmy at school.
What are you gonna do to me?
I don't know, Turner. You're not smart enough to baffle with a rhetorical question, and your teeth are not bad enough for a magnet.
And also, Timmy's parents are too busy or too clueless to protect Timmy from any of this. Every grown-up individual in Timmy's life is either dangerous, useless, or actively working against him. Now, take a look at Horrid Henry. Before Henry has done a single thing on screen, the show has already labelled him as Horrid Henry, while labelling his brother as Perfect Peter.
Don't be horrid, Henry. Never mind, Peter.
The show's already decided who the problem child is before the first episode even begins. And the parents back that up whenever they get the chance. When Peter starts to cry about anything, his parents literally come running up to him. And when Henry pushes back on it, they end up punishing him.
Go to your room.
I won't! I want to stay up! I want chocolate mousse! I want...
Upstairs now. And don't come out until I tell you.
Peter likes to manipulate every situation, and the parents take Peter's word over Henry's without even asking a single follow-up question. The cleanest proof of this in the show is the episode Perfect Peter's Horrid Day, which is genuinely the most damning episode the show has ever aired. Early in the episode, Peter picks up the garden hose and sprays Henry with it on purpose while Henry is doing a chore in the backyard. Then, when Henry tries to explain that Peter sprayed him deliberately, Dad still rules in Peter's favour and scolds Henry for not moving out of the way when Peter was watering the flowers.
Peter's fault! He sprayed me!
Don't tell lies, Henry.
It's true. I sprayed him.
Well, Henry, you should have got out of the way when Peter was watering the flowers.
Later in the same episode comes the chocolate box incident, where Peter, on his rare day of trying to be the bad kid, eats every chocolate in the box meant for Great Aunt Greta and leaves it empty.
Now, I'm truly horrid.
Henry, refusing to let his brother out-horrid him, grabs the slugs and hides them down his own trousers.
Huh? My slugs! How did they get here? Peter? Peter's done this!
When Great Aunt Greta opens the empty box and Mum grabs Henry, the slugs come flying out all over the poor woman, who then flees the house in horror.
Henry!
Henry gets sent to his room with no television for the rest of the day. And as the usual punishment lands on Henry, while the kid who set the whole thing up walks away completely clean.
Go to your room right now, Henry, and no television all day.
That's usually the way the show runs. Whether Henry did it or not, it ends up being his fault and he gets blamed for it. This has already been decided the day these two children were named Perfect and Horrid. A lot of Henry's behaviour is seen without the show pushing the audience in a particular direction. It literally makes a depressing amount of sense. And Henry usually acts out because he's continuously being compared to Peter his entire life. And then he resents Peter because Peter keeps getting rewarded for being a little tattler. And Henry mostly hates the household rules because the household rules have been built around favouring his brother in nearly every situation that comes up. The Fairly Odd Parents built its whole premise around defending Timmy, and the show Horrid Henry built its whole premise around blaming Henry for even the situations his own parents created. This is where the gap between the two shows gets even wider. Because if you leave a child on screen suffering with no way out, the fans of the show eventually start getting hurt on the kid's behalf. The Fairly Odd Parents knew this starting from the first episode. Cosmo and Wanda are the blow-offs in this show. Every neglectful thing Timmy's parents do is something Timmy can wish around inside of a minute.
Okay, you guys, I wish I was older.
The show clearly shows that Timmy's suffering and then immediately hands him the tool to handle it. All of which lets the fans laugh at the bad parenting because the kid clearly has backup behind him. Then there are episodes like Channel Chasers, where the show goes one step further and lets Timmy run away from home. After Mr. and Mrs. Turner refused to listen about the things that Vicky does to him for the millionth time, Timmy uses a magic remote to dive straight into the television.
I'm running away, and I'm running away into television!
His goal was to find a show where he can't grow up. The entire plot of the scene is the show openly admitting that Timmy has hit his breaking point and gives him a way out of it, which you'll never get to see in Horrid Henry. On top of the magic, the show actually goes further than it has to. In the episode Miss Dale, Mr. Turner competes for a beauty pageant and he actually ends up winning.
And the winner is... Timmy's dad!
And shortly after, Vicky gets what she deserves.
May I borrow your needle?
You smack it bigger.
You're all winners?
Don't get us wrong, Timmy's parents are actually bad at parenting, but they're not afraid to get physical when the time comes, and the show keeps reminding us of that quite quickly, which makes us forget their cruelty sometimes. But Horrid Henry doesn't have such comforts. Henry is stuck inside the situation all on his own, and the worst part of it is that the show treats every escaped attempt as more evidence that he is the problem in the family. In the episode Moody Margaret Moves In, Henry's pocket money gets cancelled for a full month, and also his bedroom gets handed to Margaret after one incident with Peter where he ends up inside a bin.
No pocket money for a month. And as you've been so horrid to Peter, Margaret can have your room. My room?
This time, Henry faces punishment upon punishment upon punishment upon punishment. Also in the episode, Horrid Henry and the Gross DVD, Dad tells Henry that Peter is getting an extra turn on the television.
Just for that, Peter gets an extra turn on the TV.
What? Well, that's so unfair! You should have thought of that before. Just put the TV back where you found it and hurry up because it's nearly dinner time.
And Mum adds a second week of no pocket money on top of the first one because Henry was late to dinner.
Henry, why are you so late? We've all been waiting for you. You'll care when you lose your pocket money for another week.
I mean, that's ridiculous. This whole house is literally one of those households that keeps stacking the punishments on top of each other. The only way for Henry to stop being in trouble inside this house is to become Peter, which will lead to the show losing it completely. And also, in the show, the parents never have a single moment of self-awareness about any of it, never pausing even for a moment to realise that they've been pitting their own two children against each other, and most importantly, never extending Henry the same benefit of the doubt that they hand on Peter instinctively. The same setup that takes place in both shows gives Timmy magic and Henry a permanent timeout. Look at the difference. And this might be hard to accept, but the kids on the Fairly Odd Parents show, especially Timmy, are the ones with their feet on the ground. Timmy plays a straight man role to the adults in the show, choosing its targets carefully, and Horrid Henry runs the opposite version, where the joke is almost always landing on Henry himself, and the show describes him as a disappointment. And after all of that, Henry is left traumatized with all of those punishments that his parents lay on him day after day, while his parents declare victory on the other side of it.
No music, no TV, no computer. For a week.
A month.
A year.
That's what makes the show Horrid Henry uncomfortable to watch when you're no longer a kid. The structure of the show is mostly that the parents win and Henry loses, and the show is confident that it will entertain the audiences very well. Even the language that the parents use lets the framing slip out. Mum has a whole vocabulary of pet names that she pulls out for Peter.
You've done your homework, haven't you, sweetie pie?
Of course, Mum.
Oh, that is lovely, Peter.
Is it nearly bedtime?
Yes, it is.
And she uses 0 of them on Henry across the entire run of the show. I mean, this is clearly showing that their household has one favourite child and one problem child, while the parents aren't even bothering to hide it. Mum and Dad are listed under the antagonist list, with their behaviours catalogued under child neglect and favouritism, while the Fairly Odd Parents fans describe Timmy's parents as being clownish. The thing that the Fairly Odd Parents understands in a comedy, and probably the most important thing on the whole list, is that the show has to constantly remind the audience that none of it's real. That reminder is what keeps the whole thing safe to laugh at. As long as the audience can feel the cartoon logic underneath every scene, the neglect the parents give to Timmy just plays off as a joke, and everyone knows that Timmy's going to be fine by the end of it. The Fairly Odd Parents never lets you forget that you're watching a cartoon. The show beats some people's expectations on a weekly basis.
Oh, Timmy! I'm respecting your privacy by knocking, but asserting my authority as your father by coming in anyway!
It's clearly daring you to take any of it seriously. There's nothing about that show that you need to be concerned about, because you already know that Timmy is going to wish his way out of whatever is happening and be back by the time that the credits roll again. And sadly, Horrid Henry gives the audience none of that. It's more or less flat and grounded. The one thing that the show does exaggerate is Henry's bad behaviour, and it cranks that up on purpose, so that the parents punishing him reads as fair to the people watching the show. So when Henry ends up alone in his room, there's nothing in the scene related to joke. The show is just presenting the parents as the reasonable adults, as always, and leaves Henry as the lone troublemaker in an otherwise normal home, and leaves audiences with no cue to take any of it as a joke or real. That whole setup that they use towards Henry would have been completely fine if the audience actually believed Henry was the problem. The trouble is that once you watch how often he's set up to lose and how often the parents jump to conclusions without listening to him, you feel so sorry for him, and also for the show. That's the whole difference between these two shows. The Fairly Odd Parents understood that from day one, while Horrid Henry never figured it out. And that's the strangest part of all of this as well. Horrid Henry was never trying to make you feel sorry for him. He spent 5 seasons doing everything he could to keep you on the parents' side, and still accidentally built a kid you end up defending. Tell us in the comments which of these two households you would actually want to grow up in, because we already have our answer. And drop the cartoon comparison you want us to break down next, because the list is already cooking back here. Subscribe and we'll be back very soon. Cheerio!